Yo, what is going on there, YouTube? Vaping Gamer here, and today we're going to do a top 10. Now, this is the first top 10 I've done on my channel so far, but this is the top 10 of my personal favourite first generation Pokemon. Now, this is my opinion, so if any of you guys agree with me, then put a comment in the comment section below. If you don't, then let me know what your top 10 favourite are. Okay, so at number 10 we have Arcanine. Now, Arcanine is listed as a legendary Pokemon, although not one of the legendaries that you would expect to find in the game. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, Arcanine is a fire type canine Pokemon who just looks like a badass and kicks ass. So, if you're looking for a good fire type to have on your team on the first generation games, Arcanine's a good choice. At number 9 we have Pikachu. Now, how could this be a top 10 list of the first generation Pokemon if Pikachu wasn't on here? Now, Pikachu is an electric mouse type Pokemon that everybody loves and knows from the anime and pretty much from the face of Pokemon for the last 20 years. He's a lovable little rogue, electric type, although not the strongest, still there in my top 10. Gotta love Pikachu. At number 8 we have Blastoise, a water type Pokemon. Now, as a lot of you will know, Blastoise is the final evolution of one of the 3 starter Pokemon, Squirtle. Now, Squirtle wasn't a starter Pokemon that I picked very often. I did pick him. I love Blastoise. I think he's got a fantastic design, awesome cannons coming out of his back. He looks mean. That's why he's in the top 10. Time for a slightly creepier entry. At number 7 we have Gengar. Now, the reason I've picked Gengar is because I like the ghost type Pokemon. I think Gengar was quite a funny Pokemon, and also what he did remind me of was a dead Clefable, and I wasn't the biggest Clefable fan. To see a dead one running around I did find quite hilarious. So that's why Gengar is number 7 on my list. At number 6 we have, I think, the coolest, in my opinion, the coolest bug type Pokemon there ever was, and that's Cypher. Now, Cypher's a very big bug type, and he has got some awesome blades. I mean, that awesome. They can cut anything. And the thing is with Cypher as well, is the blades get sharper the more he cuts through hardened surfaces. So, he's an unstoppable killing machine. He's just fantastic. And he can also fly. He is also a flying type. But more impressively, I would say the best bug type of all the Pokemon games. And at number 5 we have Dragonite. Now, although Dragonite doesn't look like the coolest dragon type, for me, he was the first dragon type. So this is why he's number 5 on my list. Now, for anybody who watches the anime as well, in the episode Mystery of the Lighthouse, he is huge. I mean, he is absolutely humongous. Like I say, it's the first dragon type that we see in the game, really. Apart from maybe Gyarados. It was a toss-up between the two who was going to make it to number 5. But Dragonite got the win, purely for being an actual dragon. Number 4, we have Nidoking. Now, Nidoking's on the list because when playing through Pokemon Yellow, the best strategy was to catch a Nidoran male so you could beat Brock. Now, the great thing is about Nidoking, you could catch a Nidoran male early on in the game, get him up to being a Nidoking, and even in the Elite Four at the end, Nidoking proved to be an almighty Pokemon to have in your team. He's a Pokemon I had in my team then, and he's one that I'll have in my team now. Now, at number 3, I know that a lot of people might find this a bit of a strange one, and one that not a lot of people show a lot of love for or have in their top 10, and that's Venusaur. Now, the reason I have Venusaur in my top 10, especially at number 3, is because when I first played Pokemon Blue as a kid, Bulbasaur was always the Pokemon I started with. 1, because I really liked the design at the time, and 2, the easiest way to get through the first 2 gyms was with Bulbasaur. By the time you got to Misty in the second gym, you'd already got yourself an Ivysaur. So, to get through the water and rock type Pokemon in the game, it was an easy pick, but still a Pokemon that I love to this day. Number 2, we have the one, the only, Charizard. Now, I know a lot of people expect Charizard to usually be at number 1 in most people's top 10 list, but for me, there's another one that beat him. Now Charizard, you can't do a top 10 list of your first gen Pokemon without including Charizard. Charizard was well known through the anime. Charmander was a beloved first Pokemon to start with on the games, and not to mention that Charizard is a flying fire type Pokemon. He's still, to this day, on the newest games, is one of the top competitors in battling. Charizard was just absolutely amazing. Was then, is now. Long live the one and only Charizard. Okay, so now we've reached my number 1. Now, like I say, this list has been my top 10. I know a lot of people will disagree with this list, some of you may agree with this list. But at number 1, we have my favourite, Mew. Now, the reason I picked Mew, I suppose, is because there was a lot of mystery surrounding it. All the different rumours back when we played the game as kids, that you could get Mew from doing all sorts of different things, like the truck by the SSN, and none of it was ever true. The only way you could ever get a Mew was from either glitches in the game, cheat cartridges, or special events. So Mew was always a very difficult Pokemon to maintain. One of the reasons he's my number 1 is because he could learn any move. He got the DNA from every other Pokemon in existence, and his first real appearance was in the first movie. So there's a lot of mystery surrounding this Pokemon. That's why he is my number 1, plus the fact he's adorable. So then guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you want to see a top 10 of my second generation, then let me know. Until next time, please like, comment, subscribe, and shabaladu!